This year, Madden's a game that gives you all of the drama of a full game just in half of the time. And it's a game that's as fun to play with your friends as it is against them. It all starts with a brand new play calling engine called GameFlow, which puts you inside an authentic NFL huddle. GameFlow mirrors the way plays are called on Sundays, and we believe it represents a paradigm shift in the way that you play the game. But don't just take my word for it. Let's hear from one of the greatest players ever to take a snap from under center. Four-time Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers, NFL Hall of Famer, Joe Montana. Welcome, Joe. Thank you. One of the greatest ever. So, Joe, I know we did a lot of work together in prepping for this, but what you told me about your coach, your NFL Hall of Fame coach, and Bill Walsh, was fascinating to me. I mean, the ability for him to craft game plays. Tell me about what Bill was like.
He was a perfectionist, and he prided himself in a delivery of plays to the quarterback in the huddle,
right?
With giving you the best chance to perform in a given situation. So he spent a lot of time in preparation of the game plan.
You told me a little bit he would even think of things on a Saturday morning for the Sunday game.
We would start preparation early, but he would install from Monday all the way through sometimes on Saturday morning, which is unbelievable for a lot of people, but that's just the way his mind worked.
And GameFlow does that for you. I mean, the ability for you to be able to, any given down situation, GameFlow is allowing you within the game engine itself to suggest plays. Now, let's actually go and look at what the NFL champions right now, the New Orleans Saints, and let's take a look at what Sean Payton's doing. Tell me what goes on the sidelines right there right now.
Well, you see that little sheet there. Game plans or playbooks are huge. What they try to do is combine all those plays into a bunch of 5 or 10 in each category, first down, third down.
Right.
Goal line, whatever, and then put them on a card so that it makes it easier for them to recognize during the game and get them into the quarterback faster.
Right, and so you can color code it. And then what happens when you see something when you line up at the line of scrimmage and what you see with Drew here?
Well, like it's about 90% chance that you don't have to change the play, but every now and then as a quarterback, something says I got to get out of this pass and into another, or out of this pass and into a run. So then you'll have a chance to make an audible.
So you're making adjustments at the line and audible.
At the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. So let's go actually to GameFlow right now within the game itself. And let's take a look. We've got a reprise. This is Coach Caldwell, of course, of the Colts. This is the Super Bowl from last year in Miami, Colts and the Saints. And let's look. Now, listen to that.
Over the middle. You're out of the shotgun, so keep an eye out for those ball hawking lines.
You didn't have that with the Niners. It only came in.
We used to get them signaled in, or a player would run it in, but here they're lucky because it comes in like that. It gives you a lot more time at the line of scrimmage.
And you were telling me that sometimes they'd run the play in and the guy would forget the play by the time he got to the huddle?
Sometimes it would be different from the sideline to when he got there and you get to the sideline and Bill go, why did you call that play? I said, I called what I heard.
So here we got in the headset. What's Drew doing here?
Well, here, this looks like he's changing the play here, probably to a run because, yeah, there you go. He's going to break a run there off.
Big hole down the middle.
Nice big play. But you get a chance to see the guys are on the line of scrimmage, a good chance to run a little bit of a trap and hit one up in there for a big play like he did right there.
That's great. Now, of course, we're in the red zone. What did you like? When you get in the red zone inside the 20, what did you like to do?
Well, when you have a good running back and your running game's going like that there, it's a good chance Bill liked to hit a little play action, try to hold the safeties and the linebackers and get the ball behind him and go for the end zone.
Let's see play action. Look at that.
Just like that.
Shocky. You still got it.
I hope I never. Maybe I could be a coordinator or something.
I don't know. You've got a chance. Well, Joe, I'd like to credit executive producer Jeremy Strouser and the team at Tiburon for reinventing the play calling process here and creating GameFlow to make Madden NFL more authentic and more accessible. We've trimmed the fat, and now you can play a full game in halftime. I bet you wish you could do that when you could go back. You could probably still be playing. Finally, fans at any skill level can experience authentic football, from executing the game plan of their favorite NFL team like the Niners or designing custom game plans of their own. GameFlow puts the focus on making plays, not just making calls. Joe, it's been an absolute honor and privilege to share the stage with you. Thank you very much for your input here.
Thank you.
And perhaps more importantly, for the indelible stamp that this man made on the game of football. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Montana. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again, Joe. So a couple of closing thoughts for me. These three products, EA Sports MMA, Madden NFL, and EA Sports Active 2, are all hands-on this week at the show. And they represent just a few examples of how we will deliver deep innovation for the core, whilst also exposing interactive sports and fitness to new audiences around the world. As our industry evolves, we intend to deliver the most visually, technically, and emotionally authentic sports games and fitness products around, wherever, whenever, and however fans want to experience them. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
Did we have any choice in being here today? Or was it predetermined since the beginning of the universe that all of us would be here today, in this theater, thinking these exact same thoughts? In short, do we have any free will at all? In the Western tradition, Greek myth and literature examines this subject to great depth. It's a subject of fate and agency. And what I love about the Greek gods is they're not smarter than us, and they're not wiser, and they're certainly not more emotionally balanced. They're just more powerful. They're happy to smite someone or to make them fabulously wealthy just to see what happens as they play with life. And the kinds of things they get up to are exactly the kinds of things we get up to when we play The Sims. But what's key is that in both cases, the mortals of the Greek gods and The Sims, they both have free will. They can both make their own choices. That's what makes it interesting. Here are some images from my Sims 3 game. So in my world, I have enormous power. I can make Peter Moore a fashion stylist, complete with Sims tattoo. All of his tattoos are real, by the way. I've seen them. And Dr. Ray Musica from BioWare. He's a medical doctor, just like he is in real life. And I like to put myself in there as well. And I can live out my life in different ways and see if I'd taken a different path, what would have happened. So here's me trying out some different professions from the Sims 3 ambitions. I can be a firefighter. My favorite is the architect. You get to go around and make houses and get rewarded for it. See if you can make your clients happy. I also ran some weird experiments, like what would happen if I made a town full of me, which sounds great. And it turns out, actually, all the Rod Humbles hated each other. So the whole town became this horrible, angry mess as they just fought in the streets. Actually, 2 Rod Humbles did get along. They got on really well. And what's wonderful about the simulator is that you get these unexpected emergent results. That's where all the magic is. Nature has this neat trick. It takes simple building blocks, then lets lots of them interact over long periods of time. You add a dash of randomness, and complex things emerge. The Sims uses this trick, and it gives really surprising results. So on the Sims team, even though we wrote the code of the Sims mind, and we know exactly how the Sims universe works, we tried to predict a few simple things, like when would a Sim go out to eat? When would a Sim die? And we couldn't. No matter how much processing power we threw at the problem, once that simulator got running after a few ticks, it just became too hard for us to predict. In fact, the only way we could do it was to run an identical copy of The Sims, start at exactly the same time, and run it at a slightly higher speed. So in a very real sense, The Sims 3 has given The Sims free will. The way it works is that each Sim decides on courses of action available, and then the Sim's higher mind functions figures out which one it wants to do, and it weighs it by short-term needs, personality, and long-term goals. And the result is a very sophisticated ecosystem, which we found impossible to predict. Switching to the human mind for a second, before you think that's a little bit too simplistic, modern neuroscience has told us a lot more about how our free will works, and some of the results are very surprising. For example, Benjamin Libet's experiments measured when a subject's unconscious brain started warming up to move their hand versus when the conscious mind first knew about it. The results were really surprising. The unconscious mind lit up 300 milliseconds before the conscious part of the brain did. Just think about that for a second. Your unconscious brain starts to get ready to move your hand before your mind says, I'm going to move my hand. So the implications of that are pretty worrying. Either our free will is a kind of veto mechanism, and it just says yes or no to the choices that our unconscious mind figures out ahead of time for us, or even worse, it's an epiphenomenon, similar to fire from a smoke or a jet trail from a plane. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the phenomenon. It's just a useless byproduct that we think is important. The Sims mind, by contrast, directly controls the Sims' actions. They may just have more free will than we do. Within the Sims studio, over the next few years, our aim is to nothing less than to expand The Sims through theme, time, and space. This October, we will be bringing this world to console with all new features that make it easier than ever to play with life and allow for even more control, connectivity, and creativity. We've never been able to cram as much of a robust world into a console before this year, and the powers of the next-gen high-def platforms really shine. It's quite an accomplishment. It's an incredibly sophisticated piece of software. Within each console, lives are lived, love is found and lost, and fortune smiles and scowls at each living thing. The dance between the player and the little world is a magical thing. They're alive in there.
So The Sims 3 this fall on console, unlike anything we've ever done before. And as Rod likes to say, it's far more than a game, and I agree with him. So next up, we're going to talk about EA Partners. Now, EA Partners is the part of our business where we partner with the world's best independent developers, and we're very proud of these partnerships. We partner with folks like Harmonix, Valve, Double Fine, and many others. And right here in the audience are two brand new partners I'd like to introduce to you. Ted Price from Insomniac, there we go. And two folks you probably know founded Respawn, Jason West and Vince Zampella, down here. And actually, I can see Mark Rain and Mike Capps from Epic. They're not in my script, but there they are. So you can wave at them if you'd like. So we're about to introduce two games that are coming through EAP from the world's best developers. The first of these games follows a title that was spectacular in delivering one of the finest FPS experiences on the PC in its first edition. Now, this game brings new fidelity, a graphic presentation we've not seen before, and it brings it to the greatest city in the world, New York. To introduce the game, Shavat Yerli, founder of Crytek, and I give you Crysis 2.
Thanks, John. Hello, everybody. My name is Shavat. I'm excited to be here to show you today Crysis 2. But before we see the game itself, I would like to explain a few things. Crysis 2 delivers a new kind of sandbox experience. We don't tell you how to play. We give you the tools, the guns, the grenades, and the ultimate weapon called the nanosuit. The nanosuit gives you the ability to switch between an invincible armor mode, an invisible stealth mode, but also the intelligent tactical mode, allowing you to express awesome experience at any time. This is future warfare, and you are the ultimate super soldier. We are also bringing the franchise to New York, trading the tropical jungle with the urban jungle. You will enjoy an emotional connection with New York, and your mission will be to save it. This city offers an incredible amount of gameplay opportunities. This creates what we call the choreographed sandbox, combining the freedom of sandbox with the intensity of linear games. Finally, I would like you to pay attention to the enemies itself. In Crysis 2, we promised you're going to have the most intelligent enemies ever in any first-person shooter. They're going to be vicious killers, and they're going to use New York fully to their advantage. Now let's take a look at the game. This demo takes place at Central Station. Watch out for the pinger, and particularly deadly assassin. But bear in mind, this game is a full freedom experience, so this is one of the hundreds of ways to play the game.